My name is Tai Tran. I'm in product management, and joining me to show all the bells and whistles of Guardrails is Michael Poor. So we'll jump into it. I'll give you a little bit of context on what is Guardrails and how we're helping cloud users govern their cloud. So I hope hopefully most folks kind of see this growth or this pattern, right? And it applies to not just cloud but technology overall. Is that you usually establish and start adopting new technologies, or in this case, a cloud with a small team, small number of users, and you find some product fit, some opportunities to innovate quickly, and you start going. So some team goes out there and starts using services in the public cloud. Over time, they find that they're productive and find success in innovating in that environment. The teams start growing more and more, start using more services, transition to different clouds. And then finally, you get this really complex web of teams and services and cloud environments, and they're supporting your mission critical applications now. And what happens is that the governance teams all of a sudden wake up and say, hey, this is important. These applications are important. We need to get control of these environments. And as great as all these application teams are, the developers on the team, they're not necessarily the experts at governing the environment. And there's different aspects to this. So when you start thinking about it, and you start looking at how organizations are maturing to help and govern public cloud environments, you start seeing kind of this pattern of, hey, we have security teams, operations teams, finance teams that all have policies that they need to enforce. And so originally you would go out and maybe have these governance teams talk to all the app teams, and they start telling them, hey, you need to follow my policy for some reason. These are the corporate standards. These may be industry standards that we need you to follow. And that doesn't scale, especially as the adoption grows and the organization is adopting this at scale. So in comes a central team to help, right? This team is maybe an infrastructure team that is focused on one or multiple cloud environments. They start providing automation for those users, start working with them to provision accounts, and it's kind of this intermediary team that helps facilitate the distribution of the policies and enforcement of these policies. The problems that we see in the market are kind of the issues that we talked about, what Rachna talked about earlier, was we have many different tools, many different teams trying to support the application team. And at the end of the day, it results in kind of this unoptimized way of operationalizing the use of cloud. And so that's where Guardrails is stepping in. What we see is that even with these cloud operations teams, you might be using cloud native tools that are very targeted to a specific cloud environment. So you have to learn different tools from the different clouds. How you operationalize that is very inconsistent and potentially slow. You might be doing one-time automation. Like I'll deploy an environment, and obviously resources and policies are going to drift within that environment. So how do you continue to maintain governance in that scenario? As I said, there's lots of different tools to help maintain compliance. And when you have lots of different tools and lots of teams to try to learn those tools, you often end up with undetected and unmitigated issues that drift over time. And then ultimately, you just don't. there are so many services in these cloud environments, and you're not going to have experts of every single tool. So how do you keep up with that? How do you keep up with the latest standards and the latest use of the tools in each one of these environments? That's where Tanzu Guardrails comes in. We're an application that runs on top of Tanzu Hub. We leverage the multi-cloud, event-driven, graph-based inventory and onboarding platform to really enable several different use cases. So as we look at how cloud adoption has grown, we're coming into environments, usually brownfield environments, that users have many accounts already with many applications and deployments. So we come in with a kind of posture management approach, compliance approach. You onboard your account. We tell you what issues you might have within that account. There are kind of over 1,200 policies that we're managing, many different compliance industry and both security and compliance frameworks that we're mapping those policies to. And so then right off the bat, within minutes, you get a view of, hey, what kind of common best practices or compliance issues that I may have. And these policies are built by VMware based on industry standards, but also within our own research teams who are identifying, hey, we understand the connected nature of your environment, and so and the resources and services that you're using, and so we can give you higher quality, more impactful policies that we've defined. Secondarily, once you've looked at all these policies and you understand, hey, here are the gaps within my environment, I can use the cloud desired state management capabilities, which is an infrastructure as code-based automation service that allows me to set standards and enforce drift over time. So using our infrastructure as code, you can either create new environments and deploy new tools with those environments to help you manage the environments consistently. You can be provisioning things like access policies, logging tools, other third-party tools even, so that you can govern those environments consistently from day zero. In addition to that, we've also coupled in cloud entitlement management. So one of the big problems with cloud is if you're not provisioning access or entitlement correctly, that leads to a lot of misconfiguration. And so having that visibility, having that on top of a common inventory layer, so you can quickly investigate problems, is highly powerful. And then finally, we also have a host configuration and vulnerability management system. How do I define the VMs, the OS configurations for my VMs in the host of multi-cloud environments in a consistent way? And then how do I identify vulnerabilities? All of this built on top of Tanzu Hub allows you to see multiple different issues from the cloud layer to the host layer to the OS layer in one place in context.